Welcome, everyone. This is not a planned live, so I'm just going to talk as if I was recording a video. And then whoever joins, join, but welcome. If you happen to pass this live stream or you're checking it out after it has been posted, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming caregiver program because I know a lot of persons still have questions, and I've done, I think, 2 videos on it so far, but persons still have questions. So I'm just going to go over some of those questions at the end, but I'm going to more so be talking about the program itself and what the requirements are, and just going into more detail because I know that persons still have like a lot of questions, right? So let's get right into it. As I mentioned, this will be saved, so I'm not necessarily waiting on an audience. I'm just going to save it and then persons can watch it thereafter, right? So for the Caregiver Pilot Program, this opens on March 31st, 2025. So the date is fast approaching, and this live is a check-in. So are you ready? How far in the process are you in terms of being ready for March 31st? I mean, have you started applying for jobs? Have you done your WES evaluation? Have you done your IELTS or your PTE core? Or what have you done so far to get yourself ready? Anna says no. So I am assuming, Anna, you have not done anything just yet. But if you haven't started, there is no better time than the present to definitely get started, right? And as I mentioned, I'll be going over just the program in general, answering some questions that I see coming up, even though some of these things I have posted about on my channel previously, right? So, one of the first things in terms of the overview of the program, it is made to replace the previous caregivers program that was closed. I believe it closed June last year. So it's now going to be relaunched in March, and it's made to replace that. So as of right now, all of the requirements that we've talked about, it is in reference to what the program previously was, and we're hoping that everything will remain like that and they won't change anything and want anything crazy, right? All right, perfect. So in terms of the program, I'll speak first on the requirements and then I'll kind of go into details on them, right? So as of right now, they're definitely saying 6 months, at least 6 months of caregiving experience. And I do recommend that if you have 1 year, you're definitely in a better spot. The reason why I say that is that though the last program required 6 months, what if they change and they're like, okay, no, we want a year? Then that's why I say you'd be in a better position. But as of right now, they're just asking for 6 months, which I feel is very reasonable and very fair. For persons, one of the questions that keeps coming up is, if I take care of my mom or I used to take care of my dad or my grandparents, can I use that as my experience? And my answer to that is, in order to prove experience, you're going to need some sort of formal documentation to say, this person worked for me from so and so until such and such time. These are the things that they did. This is the amount that they were paid. Or you can also use like pay stubs, etc., to kind of solidify the proof, right? So that's what I would say to that in terms of being able to use that as your work experience. The next one is language, right? And that's your English test. So currently, Canada has 3 different recognized English tests in place. They also do French, but they have IELTS, they have CELPIP, and they also have PTE Core. PTE Core was recently added. I think it was added maybe last year. So it hasn't been on there for a long time, but they are recognized just the same, right? But in terms of doing the test, I get this question a lot. Where do I do it? Is it done virtually? And the answer to that, no, it's not done virtually. It is definitely highly regulated. So them have to watch you like hawk when you're doing it. So it's definitely done in person. In terms of booking it, you can certainly book the test online, like on their website, but it's certainly not done virtually. You would literally have to go to a place, a facility, a school, something to get this particular test done. Where it's done is dependent on where you live, right? So, say you're in Jamaica, I know that UWI does it. I don't know if any other place, and that's the University of the West Indies. Almost we say you take. Ah, yeah, but they do it. So I don't know of any other place in Jamaica that does it. And then in the US, of course, you can literally go on Google or go on their website and you're able to find different institutions that offer the test. For persons who are just joining in, this was not a planned live. I'm just doing an update on the caregiver program. Well, not necessarily an update because there hasn't been any changes since I did my last video, but I'm getting a lot of questions and persons are asking some questions that I feel like I can use this live to respond to, but it will be saved. So I'm not necessarily waiting on an audience or anything like that. If you have CXC English, do I have to do the test? Yes. The only way you would not do the test is if you studied in Canada. You studied in Canada, then there are certain exemptions. But CXC, yes, you would still need to do the English test, right? So yes, depending on where you live, then you would go on Google and just do a quick search and find out where in your area the test is offered. And this is another factor to the test as well, and another question that I get. In terms of booking the test, depending on your city and how in demand the test is, it may take you some time to get a date. Sometimes dates are 3 months out, 4 months out. It just depends on your city and what the demand is like there. So it's definitely recommended that you go on and just look, at least have an idea of how far out this test is, so you know if you'll be able to get it done prior to March 31st, right? And another question that I get, do I have to study? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You have to study for the test. For native speakers, that's native English or French speakers, I think it should be easier. I know everybody learns at different levels and studies differently, but I definitely recommend studying and how you can study with the exams with IELTS or CELPIP or PTE Core. You can go to any of their websites. They have a ton of like free resources that you can use to be able to like practice, like mock exams that you can use to literally practice, just to get an idea of what the test entails, the flow of it, all of that. Or you can come here, good old YouTube. Everything is on YouTube. You can literally come to YouTube and see other persons talking about their experience with the test and what they felt, how they felt about it, what their scores were. For me personally, I did CELPIP, and I've never done IELTS, but I did CELPIP. But based on what I've heard persons say about IELTS, I feel like CELPIP is easier. I know persons who have done both that tell me that no, IELTS is definitely the way to go. But I think it's just a personal preference in terms of what you like and maybe just how it's outlined. Maybe you may prefer one over the other. Can you apply to more than one company? Yes, you can apply to as many companies as you would like. It's just like searching for any job. The more you put out there, the more you can look forward to getting back, right? So that's for the language. So let's speak on your education, right? So as of right now, the requirement is to have at least high school, a high school diploma, right? And yes, having the high school diploma is one, but you also need to get this assessed, because what they're looking for is to say, for example, you only have high school diploma and you live in, I don't know, Barbados. They want to look at it and say, okay, this person lives in Barbados, they have a high school diploma, but does this also equate to a high school diploma here in Canada, right? And say you have higher than a high school diploma. They want to know if that 1 year certificate course that you did in your home country or wherever, they want to know what it equates to on Canadian soil. And it should equate to at least high school or above, right? And the only way that you can know that is if you go through WES. I believe there are other institutions that does the same thing, but based on what I've heard and seen persons talk about, is WES is definitely by far the best in terms of getting this done in a professional and speedy manner, right? And the prices, I think the prices varies based on where you want to send it to or something. But when you're on there, you can literally go on, put in all your details, and when you get to the end, it shows you the price for whatever package that you took. And maybe this is a good time where I can bring it up on screen. 1 second. Because I had this yesterday where persons were kind of struggling to find out which of the options to select. So let me bring it up on screen. I didn't set up my screen to share, so hopefully it's showing. But yes, so this is WES, it's WES.org. That's the website. Once you're on there, you would click on Get an Evaluation. It says, where will you use this evaluation? If you're coming to Canada, you would click on Canada, and then this is the options now. So you have 3 options right across the board. It's the same way when you're on the phone. It just shows it, what way is this? Vertical instead of horizontal, right? But the option that you would select is this middle one, ECA application for IRCC. So that's the one that you want to select. So you click Start Application. I'll do a test. And this is not a real email, right? It's just something made up. Hopefully it allows me. Oh my word. So now it wants to send me a verification code. But you kind of get, hopefully you get the gist of it. It just has that like different prompts, and it asks you what type of credentials, where did you do it, ask you for your name, and then some additional criterias. Let me start hearing. And some additional criterias until you get to the end. And as I mentioned, it shows you the total that you need to pay for this particular service. Like somebody last night, they were sharing their screen. I believe they were in the Caribbean. I don't want to tell a lie, to be honest with you. They showed me a screenshot, but it was maybe 256, and I think that's in USD. But as I mentioned, it seems like the price is not like fixed. It's dependent on where you are, because they have to include like shipping, because they have to send the results back to you, plus they have to digitally deliver it to the government. So a lot of factors kind of goes into their pricing based on what I can tell, right? And another aspect to the WES evaluation. So this is how WES works, right? So you go online, you enter all your details with regards to what you're looking to have evaluated, and you put all your details in, select the package, and you pay. Once you pay, you're given a reference number. So this is the reference number that you have to include on whatever documentation you're sending to them, so they know who this paperwork belongs to. Because remember, they're getting piles and piles of credentials to assess. So the reference number is what ties you to their system, so they know, okay, this is for Dan, or this is for Alicia, or this is for Kim, right? So the reference number is essentially what will do that. So next part to that is, so after you're given the reference number, so this is what you should do before. Should we do the evaluation before doing the application? Which of the applications are you referring to? The one that opens on March 31st? If so, yes, it's required for the application, right? So for WES, after you're given the reference number, the next part, and this is something that they make very clear on their, I don't know if it's made clear on their website, but unlike their social media pages, they make this very clear, right? So you don't just go and mail your documents to WES. No, that's not how they operate. So you have to go to your school and find out from the school that gave you this certificate, whether the high school diploma, nursing diploma, some other sort of diploma, you have to go to the school and find out if they have like a digital relationship with West. That simply means they're able to send things to them digitally versus having you to send this through like a courier like DHL or USPS if you're in the States or something like that, right? So what happens in that case? So you would go to your school, find out from your school if they have that type of relationship with Wes. If they do have the relationship, you tell them what you're looking to do, and they would be able to assist you with getting it done. If your school has a relationship with West, it shortens the processing time, because remember, now things are go electronically. You're not sending anything in the mail, so naturally it's much faster, right? So next one, if your school doesn't have a digital relationship with West, this now means you have to send the documents in the mail, but you don't just go to the supermarket. What may I say? You don't just go to the store and grab any random envelope. You have to get like proper envelope from your school that has like their logo or their stamp or something. It has to be in like an official envelope for them to accept it. So don't waste your time. Send it without doing all of these things. They will send it back and return your money to you. So if you want to save yourself some time and effort, be sure to check out the requirements on their page before you start to proceed, right? And I'm following an agenda, so I'm just looking, right? All right. So the next aspect or the next requirement for the program is a job offer. And I feel like this is definitely one of the most important aspects. And when they talk about job offer, literally a person like me, if I say I had needed you to take care of a baby or take care of myself or take care of somebody, I can literally be here in Canada and hire you. So it doesn't have to be some fancy care home or something like that, right? It can literally just be somebody here that needs that level of care. There is a process that they have to follow on their end, but it's pretty straightforward in terms of what they have to do. They go online, fill up forms, and they have to make a certain amount. Because remember, it's kind of like they're now saying that they're going to take this person from their country to come here and pay them a salary. What if they're saying that they're going to pay $30,000 a year, right? It means that they have to be making enough money to be able to pay you that 30,000 plus continue with their normal daily activities, right? So them having enough income is definitely a big factor in whether or not they're able to give you this job offer, right? But there are also other avenues that I have talked about, and I'll share my screen and show you. And a whole video on this previously. So here is a company that is hiring caregivers, right? And they're hiring caregivers both inside Canada and outside Canada. You literally come to their website, you click on apply now if you're outside Canada, or click on apply if you're inside. There are two options there, and you fill out and fill in the required fields with your information. A question that I get a lot is for these fields here where it says referred by and phone number of referral, right? As you can see, there is no asterisk beside these, so it means that it's not required. So you can literally leave it blank. The referral would be, say you know someone that works at the company and they're the ones that told you about it. Even if I am the one that told you about it, then I wouldn't be able to refer you because I don't work with the company. I'm not a caregiver, right? So you would just leave these fields blank and continue on your merry way with regards to filling out the other sections of the website, right? Other websites that you can use, and I've shared a video on this as well, is Indeed. Hopefully this is showing because sometimes, okay, it's showing. It is showing. It's showing. It's showing. It's showing. All right, perfect. So this is an example of one that you can use. A good place that has a need for a lot of caregivers is Nova Scotia. So see how much I have personal support, sponsored job, sponsored welder. I think I spoke to someone yesterday too that was looking for welder positions. So let's just do personal support worker, right? And there would be multiple different jobs. I have this filtered, so that's why it's so that's why it's doesn't have a lot, because I have it filtered to jobs I haven't seen. So I personally, and this is a tip for anyone that's using Indeed, try to search within the last 7 days. That way, the jobs that comes up, you know that they were posted recently. Because something that I find with Indeed is that they can have postings on there that was posted even a year ago and it was already filled, but for some reason they still have it on the site. So it's important to try to filter. So you literally come to where it says last 7 days. Well, it doesn't say that. It says date posted, and you're able to filter to say last 7 days, for example, and look at the different postings that are available, and you're able to apply to them. You can read through them and to see some of them explicitly state, oh, they're not willing to hire someone from overseas, but you can literally check, or you can do personal support worker, and let's try sponsorship. And I'm gonna bring the live up on my phone. I have to search with something else because if anybody says something, I won't be able to see it. 1 second. Can you put the list in the comments? Do you mean the list of requirements? If that's what you mean, let me know. And somebody says, what company is this? This is a job search website, right? So it is Indeed. It's indeed.com. That's the name of the website. Okay, so I put sponsor available, and now it's showing me different positions. Okay. And you would literally just go through and see. As I mentioned, sometimes they have sponsor available, but you want to go through and click on them and to see which of them is indeed doing the sponsorship, right? Like, for example, this one wouldn't work. This is customer service though, but it wouldn't work. It says can and does not require work authorization sponsorship, right? So that one, you wouldn't look at that. You would only focus on companies that are willing to do sponsorship. So we'll check out this one. I have a lot of persons looking for construction jobs, and we'll just scroll and check to see what they are saying. Opportunity for a company to sponsor. Okay, so you see this one, for example, opportunity for a company sponsorship for apprentice. So they're willing to sponsor an apprentice, and an apprentice is somebody that literally has, sometimes it's 1 year experience or no years of experience, but they see that in that example, they're willing to sponsor. So I answered which company is this. The list are a few job search websites. Yes, I can certainly share that with in the chat in a minute, just so you guys would have access to it. But this is what I mean. You can literally come on and look at search with that keyword like this. This one says they're unable to offer. So you just have to keep like going through based on what you're interested in, right? And see what's available and what does the sponsorship. So lots and lots of jobs. And I'll go to another website. So that was Indeed. So that the first one I did was facepersonnel.com. Second one was Indeed. And I'm going to do Zip Recruiter. This is another one. I personally haven't used this, but I've heard persons talk about this one. Okay, so we'll say nursing assistant. I'm just using that as a sample. Now it wants all sorts of things from me. So I'll say I'm looking for in-person and hybrid. Are you saying registered nurses can get jobs in Canada? No. Yes, of course. I'll use Brampton. Oh my word, this one thing wants me to do the whole entire thing. Okay. Oh wow. I don't want to sign in because I don't want to sign in on live because it's gonna show all of my accounts and stuff. But I'll leave it in the chat and you guys can literally take a look at it. It's set up similarly to Indeed, where you go on, you use the search bar to look for the jobs that you're looking for, whether it's LPN, RN, nursing assistant, personal support worker, roofer, tiler, I don't know, general contractor. So many different options, and you just do your search and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. So I'm gonna drop the names in the chat. I don't know if I can do them like in all in one thing. Indeed, Zip Recruiter. Zip Recruiter, and the other one was Face Personnel. Yes, for you can certainly do the NCLEX if you're looking, especially if you're looking to transition from the US. I know persons who are going through that process right now. I spoke to her about 3 weeks or so ago, and she was using it to go to Alberta. Yes, Alberta is the province that she's going to. But yes, if you're going through the process, you can certainly do your research on that and go through it with regards to coming over in that manner. But I'm more so referring to persons who are looking to utilize the program that will be opening on March 31st, 2025. And yes, if you have nursing experience, you can certainly apply, say, for personal support worker, caregiver positions, etc., etc. But if you want to work as a registered nurse, then that's a different story. All right. Okay, perfect. So, oh my word, I lost my agenda. 1 second. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so the next thing, and this is some a question that I get a lot. What does the sponsorship mean and how does it differ from a work permit? So say you apply to Face Personnel, right? And I found your video late. Don't worry about it, Sophie. I have a lot of videos posted on this channel. I'm also on TikTok. You can check out my page over there if you've not been on there before. I'll drop the link in the comments. But when is the program starting? It starts on March 31st, 2025. That's when the portal opens, right? So for the jobs, so we have sponsored jobs or we have open work permit. So say you get hired by Face Personnel and they are looking to say, hey, I want to hire Anna and she lives in Trinidad and I want her to come to Canada to work for me. So what a sponsorship is, or what a sponsorship does, it means that you would in essence be locked into that working for that employer. So you'd be on a closed work permit. So you and them would come to some sort of agreement, whether it be that you're working for them, you'll be working for them solely for, say, 2 years or 3 years, depending on what your sponsorship agreement is. So you would work with them for that period of time. And then after that, you'll be able to maybe apply under some other program, extend your contract with them, something. But that is, in essence, what the sponsorship does. It locks you into this particular employer to perform this task or work in this capacity for this set number of time, right? The next one is what persons ask about is the open work permit and how does it differ from a sponsorship. So the open work permit, as the open suggests, it's not closed. You can literally work for anyone here in Canada. You're not locked into a particular employer. But only certain criterias will allow you to qualify for an open work permit, right? So one way that you can get an open work permit is, say your spouse is here in Canada and they're studying at like a degree master's level, like tertiary, then then you would qualify for a open work permit, whether it be that you're a spouse in terms of just wife or husband, or your common law and you're able to prove that, then you would qualify for the open work permit, right? And then another way is if you've gotten married to someone that's a citizen or a resident, then you will also qualify for a work permit while your documents are being processed for your residency. And please, I am not an immigration lawyer, so excuse me. I'm not a immigration lawyer, so everything that I share is based on my own personal experience and with persons that I have worked with previously, right? So always seek legal advice. Good. All right, so let's move to the next thing. And it's the application process, right? And I'm going to share my screen again because we love sharing. 1 second. One second. That's not the one that I want. All right, perfect. So I have the right screen, so I'll show you. And I'll just wait to ensure that it's shown before I start. I hate when you share the screen and it has to go black before it actually shares the screen. I don't know why YouTube is like that, but I'm just waiting for it to come up and then I'll start talking. But I'm gonna, in essence, show you where you would come to apply once the program opens up. Why is it taking so long to share? Or maybe it's my phone that's slow. Anyways, I'm seeing it on the computer, so I'm assuming that it's good. Okay, perfect. So you would go to canada.ca and then you would click on immigrate to Canada and it shows you the different options. Or you can just simply type in Google home caregiver pilot program, right? Or home care worker immigration pilot, and it will take you to this page. So as I mentioned before, the program opens on March 31st, 2025. So what that means, when the portal opens, this is where you would in essence find it. So as you can see, it says home care worker immigration pilot and it has the date, but it's not clickable. These other ones are clickable, but this one isn't clickable just yet. This is the one that was in place before and it closed in June 2024. So this new one that they're opening is the one that is made to replace it. And as you can see, they have others that were here before and they closed. They have interim, living, caring for children, caring for people. So many different options. So Canada is not new to sponsoring caregivers. It's not something new for them. It's something that they have done for a very long time. And they will be doing it again come March 31st. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat. So you would literally have it and you can bookmark it, save it, whatever you need to do. So when the program or the portal opens on March 31st, you will be able to pretty much navigate to it. Once it opens, I too will do I think I'll do a live. It's kind of easier to do the lives and do these talking and then allow persons to watch it after. But because if you sit down and you record the video and then you have to go back and edit, and if you make a mistake, you have to start over. Yeah, so I feel like doing it this way, even though the quality online isn't the best because you're using like a webcam on your laptop versus like your phone or a camera. So that's the drawback, but the important part is to get the message out there to you guys and the information so you are literally able to act on it, right? So that's the website. So, and this is what I said this to someone yesterday. Let me stop sharing. So with Canada, and how their programs usually work, right? So when a new pilot, especially one like this one has a lot of anticipation behind it. There's a lot going on in immigration right now. You have persons outside want who would want to come to Canada, and you have persons inside who want to remain. So there are a lot of eyes on this March 31st date, right? So what I say to persons, and as I mentioned, I said this yesterday to someone, if you can get yourself prepared 100%, that is ideal. That is where we want to be, right? But if you're not able to get there, try to get to at least maybe a 75% or even a 90%. But please, if this is something that you're interested in, you can't allow March 31st to roll around and you're still at zero. That does not make any sense. So how the programs here usually work. So when the portal opens, they can do two things, right? First option, it can be a case where the portal opens, they allow persons to go in, and you would set up what like a profile. So you would enter your name, where you're living, your kids' name if you have children, and you'd enter like a spouse and enter your job history, what type of experience you have. So it would ask you about your experience, all of that, and you would enter that. And they would allow you to submit once it opens. That is what you'll be able to do. And once you submit that information, you're literally just being asked questions and you're providing the answers. So once you do that, that would be done. Your place in that portal would be locked in. So if you were fifth in line, then you would be locked in at number 5, right? And then at a later date, they would then send an email and say, "Hi, Sophie, we need you to now send us proof of everything that you told us," right? So if you said you had 3 children, we expect you to send us 3 birth paper with your name being shown as the mom or the dad. If you said you had 2 years of work experience, we expect you to send us a letter from your current or previous employer to say, "Hey, this person worked with me from so and they have so and so years of experience," right? And the list goes on with all of the questions that you answered. And for what, excuse me, based on what their requirements are, they would ask you for proof of whatever information that you submitted. That is option 1, right? And that's something that they do currently with the express entry for persons who are familiar with it, right? Second option, and this is where sometimes the danger is, and this is why I said try to get at least 100% ready, because this other option now, the portal opens on March 31st. You're asked the questions: name, address, how many children you have, where have you worked before, etc., etc. Ask for your WES, ask for your IELTS score. Not the document yet, They're just asking questions and you're providing the responses. When you get to the end now, they would ask, "All right, you've answered all of these questions. Now we need, in the same application that you have open, the same portal, we need you to provide us with all the proof." So in that, remember the first scenario that I gave you, you answered all the questions, submit, gone by your business. Couple of weeks later, you'd get an email to say, "Hey, come and provide us the proof." So that would give you some additional time to maybe do your English exam or get your credentials assessed, right? But in this second example that I'm telling you, it's a case where they want everything in one go. So what happens if you're only 70% prepared? Some person are gonna say, I'm gonna still submit and try my luck. No, that doesn't work. Once you don't meet the requirement, even if you submit, you're literally just taking a slot away from somebody that would be able to meet the requirements, and then you're just gonna get your hopes up and then get rejected, right? So do your best and try to get yourself prepared. I know that there's a cost for the IELTS in the US. I know it's from anywhere between 280 to $300 USD. And then you also have the credentials that you need to get assessed to find out what the Canadian equivalent is. right? And as I told you, that depends on where you live and where they have to send it, etc., etc. But I saw somebody, I believe she was in, I don't want to tell a lie, but she's in the Caribbean. I don't remember the exact place, so I don't want to tell a lie. But hers was like $256 or something like that. So that should give you a basic idea of how much it cost, right? So I know, believe me, I understand that it's money, and it's not everybody that have money to just take up and go pay $300 to do something, or $270 to do another thing, right? So what I recommend to persons, especially if you're not able to kind of make that financial commitment upfront, what I would say to you is to at least apply for the jobs. I provide persons with free resume templates. You don't even have to use book me to do your resume. I provide persons with the free template for the resume. I also provide a free template for cover letters, and you can literally be there, put it together, and at least apply for the jobs, right? And the reason why I say that, because you still have some time to kind of play with. So if you're able to start applying for jobs, and then say somebody reaches out to you and be like, hey, Danielle, we would love to talk to you. Where can I find those videos for resume? These are mainly, I haven't done like a in-depth video talking about resume, but I actually want to do like a webinar with this company called Get Hired. So I want to do like a Diaries times Get Hired, and do a whole resume workshop. But I talk like in bits and pieces about resumes, but I can certainly share the templates, right? There's a link in this oh, you know what, I can share it if you leave me your email. 1 second. Because I sent it to persons from the last session, and then I sent out the template. All right, so if you leave me your email here, I will drop the template. So anybody leaves me their email, if you have received it already, you don't have to and I'll pin it. You don't have to leave your email. Just leave your email there, and I'll go ahead to send the resume templates to you, right? So as I was saying, so I understand that the financial commitment will be hard for some persons. Believe me, I get it. So what I say is, at least start looking for jobs. If somebody reaches out and be like, hey, Danielle, we would love to talk to you about this personal support worker position, or would love to talk to you about this nursing assistant position. What you would do then is go do that interview. And then based on how that interview goes, or if you get called back for a second interview, and I know that is cutting it a little bit close, but as I said, you're more so, before you make the commitment to paying for the WES and the doing the English exam, at least that way you are maybe more closer to like a positive results. And then that way, that would probably give you a little bit more oomph to say, no, man, I have to go and see if I can get this money borrowed, or I'll have to take it from my savings or something, try to figure out something at that point to say, okay, I'm going to make this investment because I literally just did this interview and these persons sound very positive, or they got back to you to say, hey, would love to hire you, right? So definitely, if I'm in that position where I am a little bit strapped in terms of for cash or so, I would definitely start at least applying for the jobs. And also bear in mind that even if you do the ALS or you do the WES, the ALS I know last for 2 years in terms of before it expires. But say you do the exam and for some reason you don't meet all the criteria to apply under the March 31st programs. With other programs that they have, and I'll show you guys other programs that they have as well. But with other programs that they have, they'll ask for these same things. They'll ask for the English, and they'll ask for your credentials to be assessed. That's your educational credential, right? So that's what I would definitely recommend if you're in a place where you're not necessarily able to make the financial commitment upfront. Okay. So the next one is processing time and what to expect. So processing time, no information on that as of yet. As I mentioned, the portal isn't open. Closer to the time, what they would usually do is to put out some sort of release to say this, that, and this is how long this will take, this is what you will need, etc., etc. But we're still a little bit ways away from March 31st, so we have to give that some time, right? And then what to expect. What you can certainly expect is for March 31st to be a mad rush. The website, I don't want to, because I don't want to say 100%, but usually with programs that are this highly anticipated, the website is bound to crash on March 31st. As soon as the clock strike 12 and it's the 31st, the website is bound to crash because there's going to be a lot a lot of persons on there. And I too have applied for persons under programs that are like have a lot of eyes on them. So when it goes live, it's like a lot of persons trying to get in. My tip for you, if you have all your paperwork ready and you want to apply, or even if you don't have it, you just want to get an idea of what the portal looks like, what they're asking for. So at maybe 2 minutes to the time when it's supposed to open, is you just be on there and keep refreshing. It doesn't work all the time, but I've done it before and it has worked. You just keep refreshing. So as soon as it opens, you can literally be in the first set of persons that get access to the server and can go on and at least be able to do your thing. Because I too will have to do that, because remember, I want to record a video for you guys. So I will have to be on watching this website to be able to do that. Sorry. Yeah, so just try your best and get yourself prepared. Watch the website when the time comes and go from there. All right. And then this was next on my agenda, but I think I touched on it a little bit, but I'll go a little bit deeper because I know that this is definitely a hot topic, and it is how to find legitimate jobs, right? So I've shared websites with you that you're able to go on there and apply for jobs. So one of them is the company site itself. So it's going to be a little bit hard for any type of illegitimate things to happen from there unless, I don't know, they get hacked or something. So that one is usually good. When you're applying directly to the company's website, there's a less likelihood of you getting like illegitimate jobs, right? So for websites like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor.ca. Oh, I didn't remember to put that one in the chat. Let me put it in there now. This is also another good one. And Job Bank. Lord, I'm not remembering the job boards them too much. Hold on. I don't know Job Bank's URL in my head. And Job Bank is the official government website. Some persons say they don't feel like the jobs on there are up to date. Some persons have migrated from other countries using jobs on there. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to each individual person. And all of these websites that I shared with you, they're free. So literally all you have to do is to go on there and just apply, right? No harm, no foul. But this is how you stay safe and ensure nobody not take advantage of you, right? So when you're on these websites and you're applying, because you have to sign up and put in your email and your name and of course add your resume in there, your information is now open to the public in essence, right? So some unscrupulous people are on there and they can literally reach out to you and be like, hey, we have a job for you, this is how much we will pay you, etc., etc. And you kind of being in the the heat of it, just so excited that somebody reached out to you or whatever the case may be, then you kind of get excited. But one of the things that you can definitely look for is if they're reaching out to you on WhatsApp or maybe regular SMS, that's definitely a red flag. For legitimate employers, they would reach out via email or they would give you a call, right? So you have to be careful of that. And also companies that are asking you to pay some sort of money to be interviewed or pay some sort of money to be fast tracked. You have to look out for those things, right? So just try to keep yourself safe. And if something sounds too good to be true, believe me, it's likely that it is. So sometimes, rather than you being like swept up in the moment, sometimes just say to a friend or family member, whoever, or some people even reach out to me and be like, hey, Taya, you know this company, or hey, Taya, how this sound to you? Ask somebody, because sometimes you may not be seeing it from all aspects, but you may ask somebody and they're able to say, no, man, no, no, girl, or no, sir, this one don't sound right, and that can help you to pretty much put you back on the right path, right? Okay, and then in terms of what you need to do these applications, so we talked about where you can apply, why you need to apply, how you stay safe while you're applying, and now we're going to talk about what you need to apply. That kind of sounds like it's in the wrong order, but just stay with me, right? So what you need. So let's start with what persons ask if they need a cover letter. The answer to that is it depends on the job. With some jobs, they have a mandatory slot or field or whatever you call it for a cover letter to be included. So naturally, you will have to apply with a cover letter. With other jobs, they don't care about cover letters. What they really and truly need is your resume, right? And you want to put your resume together in the Canadian style, as I mentioned in the chat. I have a link. If you leave your email there, I'll send out a free resume and also a free cover letter template that you're able to edit with your details, your experience, and it's in the Canadian style. And you'll be able to use that resume. If you look at the template, because I've had this too, where I send the template to persons and they're like, no, man, my resume, it's not the exact thing, but it kind of looks like it. It doesn't seem that far off. And they would sometimes send me their resume and be like, Toya, what do you think? Do you think this can work? And I would look at it. And even though I charge to do resumes, if I look at your resume and I think that it looks good and it's in the Canadian style and the bullet points are good, and I feel like how you have the summary at the top that kind of talks about your experience and really sell you as a good fit for the job. If I look at it and I feel like it's good, I'm going to tell you that it's good. I'm not going to be like, no, it's not good because I want you to use my service. No, trust me. I won't do that. But if you feel like you can't use a template and it's too cumbersome or whatever it is for whatever reason, you can always reach out to me and I can work on your resume for you. I'll pin my link. So I just pinned my link in the chat. So you're able to click on it and you're able to book me for resume, LinkedIn, cover letters, etc. if you so choose. But as I mentioned, I do send you the templates, I should say, for free. So you're able to use that to pretty much put your resume together, right? So that is the last part. And according to my agenda, I am at answering top questions. So there were no questions in the chat. So where I can always go and find questions is on my TikTok page. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna find questions that persons ask. Though it may be a bit hard because I have to open like messages. Okay. So this one says, I'm a welder and I'm interested in jobs. I don't know if any welders are on the live, or if you know any welders or you have persons that are interested in construction jobs. But here's a company that is hiring, and I'll share my screen, that you can literally apply to, and they do sponsorships. Meaning if you're outside of Canada, you apply to them and you are interviewed and you're given the job, they'll sponsor you to come to Canada to live, not only by yourself, but you can also come with your family. So this is the website here. And if you do welder and we search. So these are the welder positions. So they currently have 4 different welder positions available that persons can literally apply to, right? Okay. The next one says, I'm on a visitor visa. I'm on a visitor visa. Can I be sponsored for these jobs? And that is yes. You can definitely be sponsored if you're here in Canada, just the same like anybody from outside of Canada would be sponsored, right? So you certainly can be sponsored. And Christine says she would like the template. There's a link in the chat. I'll post it again that you can use to request the resume template. So there you go. Heavy equipment operator, those jobs are on that site as well. Truck driver, those jobs are on there as well. Okay. All right. So I have my certificates and I also have caregiving experience. So if that sounds like you have your certificate, maybe it's in nursing or something related to caregiving, and you have the experience, then I would definitely recommend that you look at the other requirements that I'm going to go over. So you need minimum 6 months of years of experience working in the caregiving field. Second one, you need your English or French to be at a level 4. So you need to complete your test, your English test, for example. You need to complete it so you know the level or the score that you receive determines the level that you're at, right? Next one is that you need to have your education assessed. The minimum that they're asking for presently is high school. So if you have higher than high school, that's great, but you need to have it assessed. Even if you done CXC English and you got what's the highest? 1. And you got a 1, you still need to do your English test. The only way that certain exemptions applies is if you studied like here in Canada, right? And even for some programs, if you study here, you still have to do it. And then finally, you need a job offer. And I believe I shared maybe about 4 or 5 different websites that have job postings, whether it be in the caregiving field, if you're interested in the program that will be opening in March, or if you want like construction related jobs, I posted the websites that you can use that to apply to. So this person said they have customer service and office experience. So you actually joined right in time because I can show you right now. Almost impressed in stream, listen. I have to check if my screen is being shown because sometimes this internet business. All right. So this is a company. It's jdurban.com. I'm going to copy it because I'm going to put it in the chat for you. And then I'm going to go to careers. And this company, it's here in Canada. It's a very big company, but they do offer sponsored jobs, right? And if you do go to customer service, then as you can see, these are all the customer service related positions that they have available, right? So they have team lead, rate agent. That's kind of sounds like a call center related thing. They have cashiers, customer service associate, and you literally click on the one that you're interested in and go ahead and press the apply button, right? And you see where it says be the first to apply. This was literally posted. Today's the 12th. I don't remember the date, but this was posted recently and nobody has applied yet. So that's why it says be the first to apply. So that's a good sign. And let's see what they have under IT, because sometimes IT have some customer service related things. So they have project manager, that's what I do. You have business analyst. That's how I started in IT. And yes, operations, service desk. This is like persons who can, troubleshoot and do those things with computers or systems. So many multiple different job postings are available. It just depends on what your skill set are and you being able to put your resume together or your cover letter together in a way that allows it to really stand out for this particular role, right? So that's, let me put this in the chat. So someone says, can nannies? Yes, you can certainly apply once if you have 9 years of experience, but you would need to get whatever credentials you have assessed, and you would also ensure that you meet the other requirements as well. English for doing their degree course, so you still need, unless you did that degree course here in Canada, you may be exempt, but if you did it outside, you would still need to do it. Interested in housekeeping and caregiving. So this other website, and the reason why I don't love to share this one, they hire housekeepers, but I don't love to share it because a lot of persons with degree IELTS is still needed. Yes, you still need to do IELTS, and the degree also needs to be assessed as well, right? What they're basically doing is testing your quote unquote your Canadian English level and your credentials outside of Canada. That's your degree, what that equates to in Canada. So housekeeping. So I'm gonna share this. I don't know if I want to share it because a lot of persons had problems going on because apparently it was like blocking their IP address. And I showed persons how to do the workaround, and then persons were having a problem with the workaround. But I'll show you because I don't know where you are. But I'll say this though, because I know that this is recorded, so a lot of persons will see it. So the next website that I'm about to share, depending on where you're located, it may not allow you to get onto the site. If it doesn't, there's a video on my channel that shows you how to go around it. If you try it and it doesn't work, it means that you either need to apply on other websites, or you ask somebody that's like overseas to set up your profile for you, and then you can use it to apply, right? No, as you have to do it in person. It's highly regulated, so it's something them have to watch you when you're doing it. Even though technically, I guess they could watch you like on a laptop from your house, but no, it's done in person. I've never heard of a case where it's done like where you get to be in your home and just be on a computer and do it. When you go to the places, yes, you are on a computer for some versions of it, and then with others, you're just literally in a space and using pen and paper, right? But let me show this other website. Father, I am scared because I know some persons will try to get on. Let me try to sign in, guys, and then I'll share my screen. If I can remember how to sign in, that is. This is actually a profile that I used to help somebody, or maybe I don't have to sign in. Oh, this is the 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to get to the. I don't want to sign in. Stop it. All right, let me share my screen. And I will say this too, housekeeping jobs, it's really hard to kind of get sponsored for those. To be honest with you, though they're there, it's a bit challenging, but I don't know where this person is. They may be in Canada and maybe they can use it too. I don't know. But here you go. The website is nannyservices.ca. And on here, you mostly have like individuals like myself or you posting that they need like a child care worker, or they need a housekeeper, or they need like, a health aide for like adults. So let's go to housekeeper. So as you can see, this is the way that it shows up. So this one says, I'm looking for a cleaner to clean the house, obviously. And this one is long. So this one is I anticipate it to be less than 20 hours. So right off the bat, you know that this one won't offer any types of sponsorship. So if it's a sponsored job that you're looking for, then that wouldn't be a good one. But let's, maybe I'm clicking, no, I'm clicking too fast. All right. So we're on the main page, the find a job page, right? So now we want to filter the site based on jobs that say have the word sponsorship in there. So we'd go to filters and it's going to look different on your phone. Let me say that now. It will look different on your phone, but this is the way that it looks on a laptop. So it filters and we'll do free text search. And I'll do sponsorship. Okay. Oh, somebody's saying blank screen. Sometimes it takes a minute to come up, to be honest. But I don't know where it blacked out, so I'll go from the top. Sorry. You guys can let me know if it's good. All right, so I'm waiting. Okay, so they're saying it's good now. Yeah, I hate the way that YouTube does that. Is when you share your screen, it goes black, and then I am seeing that it's sharing, but you guys aren't seeing. Anyways, so we're on the website. It's nannyservices.ca. And as I mentioned, and I'll say it again because I know that I'll get a lot of comments on it, right? Depending on where you are, you may not be able to get onto the site, though they post about sponsored jobs. It's like the website owners themselves, they know that I guess they'll get bombarded with requests, so they block person's IP address if you're from certain places. But two things that you can do. One, I posted another video on my channel that gives a workaround that you're able to use to get past this. Second, if that workaround doesn't work for you, you can also ask somebody that's overseas to literally sign up on the website for you and then give you the login so you can go on and start applying for jobs. Third, if those two things are not possible, then the only other option that you would have is to use alternative websites, which I have shared on the live. So if you look in the chat, you'll see those websites that I've shared, right? All right, good. So we're on nanny services. As you can see, they offer childcare jobs, housekeeping, senior health care, even tutors. They have cook, they have driver. Mind you, as I mentioned, some of these, it's a little bit challenging to get sponsored jobs for. Not saying that it's impossible, but a bit challenging. Like housekeeper would be a challenge, cooks, and like driver, because this driver is not like a truck driver. It's more so like somebody that may be sick, so they need somebody to drive them to the doctor maybe every other day. Or sometimes you have parents who want somebody that drives and is a really good driver to pick up their kids from school or drop them off to school. Sometimes you have persons who work like far outside of the city, but they don't like to drive. So they want somebody to drive them to and from work or drive them to work and come back to pick them up, that type of thing, right? Okay, perfect. So since she asked about housekeeping, I'll go to housekeeping and I'll try to click on another one because I clicked on one before when the screen was blank, but I'll just go to another one. And these housekeeping jobs, I guess you'd have to go through multiple of them, but I feel that most of these housekeeping jobs would be more so suited for maybe persons who are here or who are easily able to come here. Maybe you have a visiting visa or something and you're able to come, so you can apply for these jobs. But like sponsorship, I wouldn't necessarily rely on the housekeeping roles to be able to do that. If you scroll, part-time worker, full-time or fully experienced, sorry, housekeeper for a busy household, and it just goes on, and you're able to look at the ones that you are interested in, set up your profile and apply. So this is the part that I was talking about now, where if we're looking for jobs that say that they're willing to sponsor. So we're on the main page, we would go to filters right here. Bear in mind, as I said before, this will look different if you're on your phone, but this is the way that it is on a computer. So we click filters, and then we'd go to free text search. So this is now where I'm going to type in sponsorship, if I can spell it. Okay, so we're looking for job postings that literally have that word in it. Sometimes it's sponsorship, sometimes it's sponsor, but let's try sponsorship first. So it didn't give me any results. It could be my location. I'm gonna say 25. Okay, perfect. So look at this one. This one says housekeeper or child caregiver, and it says sponsorship is available for the right candidate. So this is someone here that would be willing to do sponsorship. Them have a long list. Them better, them better, them better do sponsorship because this is a lot of things. So it says sweep, mop, wash, polish. My word, men clothing and linens, prepare and serve nutritious meals, pick up debris and empty trash containers, distribute clean towels and toiletries, dust furniture. And it says, Tagalog. I wonder which country is this from. I don't know, Hold on, let me see. It's from the Philippines. Okay, so they're looking for somebody that's Filipino. So if you know somebody that's Filipino or you are Filipino, then this one is for you. And you see, even this is just a person that's hiring, you see what they're asking for? They're asking for IELTS and ECA. ECA is what you get from WES. It says if available, but I mean, if you had it, you could easily share it, right? So that's one example. All right, this is the next one. Looking for full-time or part-time. Also, Charmed one said Tagalog. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's Philippines. Good. All right, so this is another one too. This one doesn't look so involved as the last one. We're professional young parents, so they have 3 kids. They live in Mississauga. That's a big city here. We're open to both options, either full-time or part-time. Sponsorship available. And you see, they say all food, boarding, and lodging is included. So if you're somebody that is able to take care of kids and you can manage to take care of 3 kids, and that is something that you love or you're passionate about, then you can certainly come to this profile and be able to apply. So they said 30 to 40 hours a week, which is full-time to part-time. And then they go into talking about some of the duties that you would be performing, along with the fact that a driver's license isn't required. So I think that's a pretty good one. Let me see. Housekeeper. So, like, for example, this one you wouldn't pay attention to because it says we do not provide sponsorship. So that would be for someone who won't sponsor. So you see, it allows you to kind of filter out. And let me check this one quickly. Okay, so this one says salary will be paid either by cash or direct deposit. So it sounds like they are willing. It's a bit long. This is long to read. Well, guys, when you go on, you can check them out, but that is a lot of words. Trust me. So yeah, you just keep going and you kind of look at the ones that, you look for the ones, if that is your thing, because maybe you don't need, maybe you're here and you're just looking for a job in general and you don't need any sponsorship, right? I don't know everybody's situation, but you would literally go on and look at the ones that fit the criteria that you are looking for, and then that's the one that you would go after, right? So that's for the nanny services website. Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, I left the link in the chat. So if you click on it and you leave your email, today is Wednesday. Wait. Yeah, today is Wednesday. So I would send out because I'm gonna post now that I did a live, because I didn't post about it because I didn't want it to sometimes when you have a lot of questions in the chat, you don't necessarily get to kind of go through all the things that you have, right? So I didn't post about it. So I'll post about it after. So I know a lot of persons will then leave their email. So on Friday at around noon, everyone left their email. I'll send out the resume template and the cover letter template that you're able to use. If you look at it and you feel like your resume that you currently have is already close to this, then you don't need to kind of worry about kind of formatting your resume to kind of fit the style that I'll send to you. But if you look at your resume and you're like, no, man, my resume is far off, then you know for sure that that can't work. You'll have to do something about it, and you'll have to try to retrofit it to work with the template. Or, as I mentioned before, I do offer resume services, so you can certainly leave your details, and I will, using the link that I pinned in the comments, and I will be able to work with you to get your resume in whatever position that you're applying for. I would do the resume to work for that position, whether it's housekeeping or caregiving, tractor trailer driver, welder, whatever it is. I would be able to work with you to have your resume done in that fashion, right? So we're a little bit about over an hour. So if anyone has any questions, you can certainly feel free to ask them now before I hop off. And I hope that for the persons who will be watching the video after, or if you're seeing me for the first time, hello. All the details that I shared is definitely with regards to mainly the caregiver program that will be opening on March 31st. And this was like a readiness check-in to check in with my audience and new persons to see if it's a case where you've started to get prepared or you're still kind of dragging your feet and still wondering what's going on. Or if you heard about the program but you didn't have a full understanding of what the requirements were, I hope this video enlightens you or clears up some of the misinformation that you may have had. All right. So any questions in the chat? No man, so I don't have so much questions over TikTok. I don't have no questions over YouTube. Like I need to come over here more often because you guys don't have any questions over here. Or maybe it's because over here you kind of get to do a whole long form video, so that way you can kind of talk and explain. But on TikTok, it's kind of like you have to like get the information out fast because people have very short attention spans. Okay, perfect, Risa. You're welcome. Perfect. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, well, definitely this is where I'll end the live. Be sure to leave your email if you're interested in the resume. If you're watching this video after the fact, I hope that you are close to being prepared, or you've at least done your resume, or you're well on your way to landing your first sponsorship job here in Canada. If you're outside of Canada or you're inside of Canada, I definitely wish you're on your way to doing that. Can you apply for the nanny and caregiver job without certificate? Yes, you can. You don't need a certificate to apply for jobs. But of course, the more certification you're able to show, or if you are able to show one, then it definitely sets you apart from other candidates. But it's not a requirement to apply for the jobs, right? Okay, perfect. So you can definitely leave any other questions down below. I'm very active in the comment section, so I'll definitely respond. My email is in my bio, my booking website is in my bio. I look forward to connecting with you guys again soon. All the best on this journey. I wish you definitely much, much, much success. So have a good night, and thank you so much again for joining. Perfect, Sophie. So have a good night, guys, and bye for now. And I'll come back because I like over here, as I told you, it's so much easier to kind of talk and kind of get into all the details over here than you're able to do on TikTok. Lara B says she'll watch the replay. Okay, perfect, Lara. All right, real steel. Awesome. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much and have a good night.